Look, we definitely never feel down and out. We've sort of tried to put a lot of focus back completely onto us going forward. It's obviously really important that we win the remaining 3 of our games. And if there's an outside chance of qualifying, that would be incredible. But the only way we're going to do that is by winning the next 3 games. So a lot of focus is on us at the moment, us as a squad, and trying to win the next 3 games, and from there we'll take it as it comes. Look, I think naturally after the game it was quite a tough one to swallow, because obviously it was quite an important game for us needing to win, and it was really close, and it obviously went down to the wire, and Kane Williamson played an incredible knock to get his team over the line, something which we can learn from. So the mood was naturally it was a bit down, but I think we've done a bit of our sulking and moping around. The energies here in the change room since we've been here is really good, and I also think it helps that the families have arrived yesterday, so the guys are feeling slightly more refreshed and up for the next 3 games. Look, I think it's sort of the modern game. A start is almost it's really important to get yourself in, because we've seen the knocks and the magnitude of knocks that some of the top players in the world are doing at the World Cup, and they're really scoring big hundreds. And I think, look, for us as a batting unit, we're pretty much doing the hard work up front. Like you say, we're getting in, and then we're not kicking on. And like you mentioned, it does definitely set you back. Every time you lose a wicket, naturally the rate will drop, and the new batter needs to get himself in, and that normally takes a bit of time. So it's definitely something we're looking to rectify. We pride ourselves on getting big hundreds as individuals, because that sets up the team and puts the team in a big position. So we're putting our focus on there. The positive is, though, that we have been getting in, so we are doing the tough part fairly well up front, and now it's about converting it into really big scores. A confidence perspective, it'll be quite important. It'll be nice going home, whenever we do go home, knowing that we've managed to put performances together at a World Cup. So it is important for us. Going forward, I think we're trying to not look too much into the future in terms of players retiring and things like that. It's something that really is outside of our control as players, and as young players especially. So we're aware of what could potentially happen, and as the younger group of players, we are aware that in a couple of years' time we need to make sure that we can make this team a better team and even better environment to play cricket in. So we slowly but surely working our way around things. If you look at guys like KG and Lungi and Andy, they've done actually incredibly well in their young careers so far. So it's something we're putting a bit of focus on. But at the end of the day, I think at a World Cup your focus primarily is on cricket itself, and not too much on who's going to move on afterwards, etc. like that. Look, it was a great game of cricket, and it just proves that as soon as a team clicks on the day, any team at this World Cup can beat any other team. And that's why I say we're really trying to focus on ourselves, because if we put together our best game of cricket, it should put us in a good position to hopefully win games. So it's nice to see that a team like Sri Lanka, with great players in there, maybe been struggling for form, as have we, have been able to overcome one of the favourites. So it's definitely inspirational. Like you say, we can definitely take a bit of learning from that. But a lot of the focus is on us really trying to put our best game of cricket together to see how far it can take us. Yeah, look, it's each batter it's a different reason. There's situations in the game where, as a batter, you're in, and your partner at the other end might also be in, and you're deciding to, now we're going to try put pressure on this bowler. And then it doesn't come off, execution lets you down, but the thinking was right. So I'd say a lot of it is just down to execution. I think if you look back to the batters that have got out, the dismissals have been from either a really good ball. You look at the ball that Hash got now from Mitchell Sandon, that's a really good ball. The ball Faf got, it's a great Yorker. So not too much of it has come down to bad thinking. I think the thinking has been right, and then at times our execution has just let us down. Yeah, look, it's been tough because of the results, like you say. I think, but looking past that, it's been one really cool experience so far. To play cricket on the biggest stage in the world is quite a privilege. and to be playing for your country is just as a privilege, just as much a privilege. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've thoroughly enjoyed the pressures that come with competing at a World Cup, and we've all seen it's not been smooth sailing for us. But I do believe that's you're learning your most when things aren't going well. So there's a lot of things we're taking from this experience. Like I mentioned, by no means are we just going to lay down and roll over. We're going to compete as hard as we can for the next 3 games, with the focus on winning all 3 of them and seeing how far it can take us. Yeah, look, firstly on Kane's knock, it was obviously we all know he's one of the best batters in the world, and you could really see that he knew if he was the guy who batted through that New Zealand would get really close, if not win the game, and it was almost like he absolutely backed that. Colin came in and played a great knock to get that momentum going for them. But you could see Kane really knew what his role was in that situation. His role was to be the guy to go through, and then for a guy like Colin to come in and express himself and play freely. So the learning probably comes from really identifying what your role is in a certain situation, and backing it and believing that at the end of the day, if you do hang in there till the end, that the result will go your way. And then just in terms of the intent, I think, look, it's a tough one. I think, like you say, it's always you're always somewhere in between the two. I think we're trying to play a brand of cricket where we are looking to be positive, but conditions also dictate how positive you can be. The wicket the other day was a pretty tough wicket. It was quite slow and it was holding up, so we couldn't quite express ourselves as much as we wanted to. We realised that it was going to be a game of setting up the innings and then trying to capitalise the death. So yeah, it's a lot of it is dependent on conditions, I suppose. Look, we've played a recent series against Pakistan. Wahab Riaz wasn't part of that series, so that'll be a new sort of challenge for some of us who haven't faced him. But as a whole, I think Pakistan have got a really good bowling unit. Mohammad Amir is back and in form and obviously leads that attack. So it'll be a nice challenge to face them at Lords. And as a whole, I think their bowling lineup is the one you definitely can't take lightly. Look, there's not been a lot of focus on it at all, to be honest with you. I'm really just trying to keep my spot in the side, so I need to make sure that I'm scoring loads of runs for the side and saving as many as I can in the field. So that's sort of where my main focus has been. I think just naturally once you're in the environment for a period of time, you do think with your leadership brain, I suppose, and see how things can be better and what we've really done well and what's worked and what hasn't. And I think that's just a natural thing. But in terms of putting emphasis on captaincy itself, like I said, I haven't given it too much thought. I'm really just trying to stay in the side.